Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, excuse me. Good morning. I'm going to give it a second, see if we have some more people join us. I know it's really early here in the United States, but I was hoping some of our people, from other countries might join us. Um, Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? If you're here, please let me know if you can hear me. Just put a 1 if you can hear me. If you're here, please let me know if you can hear me okay. Hi, Moni. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. We may have a slim crew this morning, but that's okay. We're still going to talk about Gabby. Because what I just saw in the news, mm. Okay, we'll do a little recap on Gabby. Gabby, went on a road trip with her boyfriend. They left July the 2nd. Um, August the 12th, there was an encounter with the police. Now, I have saw reports that there were actually two encounters, so I'm trying to research that and verify it. I have saw a report there was an encounter on the 12th and the 13th. Either way, the police put him up in a hotel, told her to go on her merry way in her van. They told him where she would be, but they would not tell her where they were going to house him at. Weird. Very weird. Okay, here's where it gets interesting, guys. If you're just joining me, this is where it gets interesting. Hey, Veronica. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Guys, here's where it gets really interesting. Guess what I just saw on the news? And I linked it in the description below my source. It was foxnews.com, and also ABC News has also been talking about it, but they didn't have as good of a write up about it. Okay, Brian flew home to Florida August the 17th and stayed until the 23rd. Remember me telling you guys that they were at the same park that the newlywed women were at who were found murdered, and that they had visited the same bar that these women had visited? Yeah. This is where it gets interesting. These women were found murdered on August the 18th. They were found shot to death. Now, it does not say when they think that they were murdered. They were found murdered on August the 17th. One of the women had actually texted a friend that there was a strange guy roaming the campground and was scaring them some. They are now investigating Brian to see if there is a link between these women being murdered and the disappearance of Gabby, and if he's got any involvement in it all. I knew yesterday there was something up with that. I knew it as well as anything. I knew it. Sorry, guys, but I did. Yes, the two couples were just at the same bar. Yes, ma'am, Veronica, they were. They were at the same bar. They were. There's no indication if they had any interaction at the bar, but they were at the same bar. And now these two women, before I say this, I am not a I'm not prejudiced against women marrying women or men marrying men. That's between them and their God. I have my own beliefs, but that's between them and their God. That's all I'm going to say about that. They did not deserve to be murdered. They didn't. And it's mighty suspicious that they were found murdered on August the 18th. Brian flew home to Florida August the 17th and stayed until the 23rd and flew back to meet Gabby wherever she was at the time. Also, it has been revealed that Gabby was last seen at the Grand Teton National Park. Grand Teton National Park. Let me look at something real quick. Oops, my lid fell for my water. Grand Teton National Park is in Wyoming, Teton County, Wyoming. It is 310,000 acres. That's where Gabby's family's at looking for her. Can you imagine that your daughter is missing and hey Mojangles, I was going to text you or message you and I was afraid I'd wake you up. Mojangles, the police are investigating a link between the two women that were murdered in that camping area and Gabby's disappearance. They're trying to link them together and Brian as a suspect. The Utah sheriff says that they are actively. Let me read the statement that he says, okay? And guys, out of respect, I want to mention these women's names. I don't like to just say the women because to me that degrades them. They had a name. They were someone's daughter. They were someone's family member. They deserve their names to be mentioned. Um, their names were Crystal Turner and Kylan Schlute. And Brian is being investigated as a person of interest in that as well. Let me read you what the sheriff says. The Grand County Sheriff Stephen White says that they think an outside party, quote unquote, shot the women and then fled the area. Fled the area. Okay? Remember, Brian caught a flight out on August the 17th and went to Florida and stayed until the 23rd. These women were found deceased on August the 18th. They had not been seen since 5 days earlier when they were seen leaving the bar. So 5 days earlier So August the 13th, they had not been seen since August the 13th. They were found murdered August the 18th. Brian skipped town August the 17th. It says the Grand County Sheriff's Office said Thursday that it is actively looking into the connection between a double homicide of newlyweds at a campground outside of Moab last month and the recent disappearance of Gabby Petito. The sheriff's office is not ruling out at this time and appreciate the concerns of the public and their willingness to contact the office with those concerns and information. Oh, Brian, you've got some explaining to do. Brian, you've got some explaining to do, mister. Gabby's mother has been contacting Gabby. Gabby's mother has been contacting Brian's mother and begging her to get Brian to tell any information that he has. Brian's mother won't even have the decency to answer the phone. Talking about her belongings, okay? Brian gets back to Florida in Gabby's vehicle on September the 1st. Either that day or shortly after, Brian and his family move Gabby's belongings into a storage area, a storage facility. For those of you who are not familiar with the United States, you guys may have them in other countries. We have places that you can go rent units to store things. Yeah. Brian and his family moved Gabby's belongings into a storage facility. Sure did. Scum, scum, scum. And I want to thank Trauma and True Crime Lynn for giving me another tidbit piece of information that I had missed on when I was putting together my timeline. August the 29th of 2021, Brian was possibly spotted at a gas station in Jackson, Illinois, alone in Gabby's vehicle. Dude, you have some serious explaining to do. It's just a matter of time before your family cannot protect you. He flew back. I'm sorry, Veronica. I didn't have have it pulled up where I could see the messages. I was looking at something else. He flew back to Florida August the 17th and stayed there until August the 23rd. I think he did fly back to collect the van. I really do. I think he flew back to collect the van and get it home. Now, the police are also saying that there are possible clues. They will not elaborate on that anymore, but there are possible clues inside the van. The police do have the van confiscated. They're checking it out. Brian, dude, the best thing you can do is cooperate with the police, tell them what you know and what you did, take it like a man. Only wimps, almost said a bad word, but only wimps sit back and let a mother beg for someone to tell her where her daughter is. Only a wimp lets a father beg for knowledge of where his daughter is. I don't know, Unsolved Mysteries, if that means there's blood in the van. I don't know. It just said, the news article that I read just said there are possible clues inside the van. Did they FaceTime? Let me look at my spreadsheet. Hold on just a minute, guys. Okay. Um okay, August the 21st, Gabby's father door dashed her food to a hotel in Yellowstone. Gabby was last seen in person on August the 24th at Salt Lake City, Utah, with Brian. She was leaving a hotel with Brian. August the 25th, Gabby's mom FaceTimed Gabby. And she was at the Grand Teton National State. The Grand Tetons. Let me add one word to that because I didn't put all that in. I'm sorry, guys. Grand Teton National. But she FaceTimed her on August the 25th. August the 27th, she did someone from Gabby's phone Snapchatted that they were headed to Yellowstone National Park. There's no proof it was Gabby because Gabby was known to share pictures with every Snapchat, Instagram, anything. She wanted to document everything with pictures on this trip. So that Snapchat is sent out from Gabby's phone on the 27th. The 27th, Brian leaves town heading back to Florida in Gabby's vehicle. August the 29th, he is potentially spotted at the gas station in Jackson, Illinois, without Gabby, but he was in Gabby's vehicle. August the 30th, Gabby's parents received text saying, quote unquote, no service, Yellowstone. Again, no pictures. They don't believe it was Gabby. And there were other text messages that were sent as well after that they don't believe was Gabby because it didn't include pictures. Brian arrived back in Florida September the 1st. And guys, you know it's bad when on September the 14th, the Northport Police Department, which is the city that they lived in, tweeted to Landry's attorney because as soon as his scumbucket butt arrived back in Florida, he lawyered up. His parents handed him an attorney's business card and he lawyered up. So the Northport Police Department is tweeting to his attorney asking for assistance. Yesterday, Gabby's parents contacted Brian's parents begging them to cooperate and get Brian to tell what happened to Gabby. Guys, this case just gets worse and worse and worse. There were no, let me verify that. On the 30th, they did receive a text saying, yeah, I said no service, Yellowstone, but no pictures, and they do not believe it was her. But just the way that it was worded, and that was sent on the 30th. And there were maybe a couple of other texts after that, but they do not believe those were from her either. See, okay, 25th FaceTime Snapchat. 25th is FaceTime. Let me make sure I'm telling you right on that. Yes, the 25th was FaceTime. The 27th was a Snapchat. Yes, that's correct. That's exactly right, Mo. That text was sent and worded in a way to make them think that she didn't have enough service to call out. But the parents do not believe that that was her. They don't believe it was her at all. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry I yawned. I get up this early. My son has to be at work at 6 a.m. our time. So I usually get up and I don't know. He's spoiled. I make his breakfast and double check to make sure his alarm has went off and wake him up. So yes, Veronica, it is very suspect to me too. Very suspect. And I cannot get that image of her, of Gabby sitting in the back of that police car and how she looked terrified. And nobody caught onto that. A trained police officer did not catch on to the fact that she looked terrified of this man. No, Mojangles. Nobody saw her face after he headed back to Florida. Nobody has saw her. The last time that anybody has saw Gabby, to my knowledge, and what I've been able uh, to prove and document, in my spreadsheet, I've documented everything. It's August the 24th. That's the last time anybody has saw her, and she was last seen leaving a hotel in Salt Lake City, Utah, with Brian. That's the last time, and it's disgusting. Brian, quit being a wuss and tell what happened to Gabby. I mean, you're not going to get away with this. I don't know if you realize it or not, but this has made national attention. People who investigate things as a hobby are investigating this. They should drive away from him in her own van after he went to the hotel. Yeah, she was terrified of him. She was terrified of him. She was scared. They should have put her in a hotel and they should have sent him on his way and not told him what hotel she was in. Oh, Veronica, thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty, bragging on, I'm pretty good to my husband, but this was actually my 21-year-old son that I set my alarm clock for to make sure that his wakes him up and I make his lunch for him because, guys, yes, he's 21, but he's only going to be in my house so much longer. You know what I mean? And I'm going to enjoy every minute that I can of it. He's he is my baby, and I'm going to enjoy every single minute I can of it. So I was actually, I had I had scheduled this live, and right before it was time for me to go live, he was getting ready to walk out the door for work, and he walked over and hugged my neck and told me bye. Oh, Mojangles, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I spoil my family. I can't help it. I do. I spoil them. But they've had my back, so I will always have their back. Always. So, guys, what do you think? Guys, hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. Please hit that thumbs up. If you aren't already a member, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I will be doing another live this afternoon sometime if there are more updates about Gabby. If Gabby is found, Yes, his family is acting like Chris Watts' parents. Exactly, Happy Kitty Shop. They are. They are acting like Chris Watts' family. But if there are any updates on Gabby or if Gabby's found, I will verify the information first and then I'll go live about it. Um, when I saw this on Fox News this morning about they're trying to see if there's a connection, I verified it before I scheduled the live. I don't want to be one of these YouTube people who hear something, don't verify it, and run straight to YouTube, and it may not even be true. I verified it with two news sources. And Brian, dude, it don't look good for you. You can hide at your parents' house all you want to. You can keep your mouth shut all you want to. But the truth will come out. It always does. Always does. And dude, if you harmed Gabby, if I were you and I got to prison, I wouldn't drop the soap. Because Bubba's going to have his way with you. It is. It's time to take the dirty laundry out. And I promise you, Brian Landry, my channel may be small, but I promise you, I will not take the heat off of you until Gabby is found. Until Gabby is found. I've had enough of women going missing at the hands of men who think that they control women. Good morning, Joy. I didn't get a good feeling about that video of the dash cam. I didn't. Um, it was very reminiscent of the Watts, the way that he did his hands. If you guys remember when they were talking about, remember the analyst who analyzed Chris Watts's, not Chris Watts, but they analyzed Letitia Stout's speech. Wait a minute. He tried to be, yeah, he tried to be buddies with the cops. He did. But remember the guy Peter Hyatt. Remember how he analyzed Letitia Stout's speech, and he talks about when you hold your hands out in the upright position, your palms are in the upright position, and it's to say I have clean hands. You're trying to prove to the cops or whoever you're talking to, look, my hands are clean. If you're doing that consistently, most likely your hands are dirty. So I don't have a good feeling at all over the way he's at. And what's scaring me, guys, is that national park is 310,000 acres. How on earth will they ever find her there? And I did read one report that if they did make it to Yellowstone, if they made it to Yellowstone, did he push her off of the edge of Yellowstone? Amy, I agree. I mean, I get hiring an attorney in a situation like this, but I would only use the attorney to tell me yay or nay. Unsolved mysteries. He hired an attorney as soon as he got back to Florida. The way I'm understanding it, guys, if I sneeze, please forgive me. My allergies are bothering me. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna mute y'all for just a second, okay? I thought I was gonna sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze into the thank you. Wait a minute, wait. I didn't want to sneeze into the microphone. I'm sorry. The way I'm understanding it, thank you, he hired an attorney as soon as he got back to Florida before he, before Gabby's parents ever reported her missing. Yeah, they stopped him. The police stopped him for speeding, driving recklessly, and suspicious of DUI. Why didn't the dude go to jail? He was driving the vehicle. Why didn't he go to jail? Why was he put up in a hotel at taxpayers' expense? Why didn't he go to jail? Yep. And they never checked him out. They never checked him out. I know Gabby kept saying that she has anxiety. No, a sadistic, let me explain something to you, okay? Why would he go to jail? It is a crime to drive recklessly, to drink and drive, and speed. Those are crimes. Crimes, sadistic. They are crimes. You're welcome. You're welcome here, sadistic biscuit. But what you will not do is come in here and make comments like that. Mo, one more comment like that from him, and show him where the door is. It's a crime to drink and drive. I'm sick of that mess too. You don't have the right to drink and drive and put my family's life in danger. Brian made her out to be the crazy one, saying that she supposedly grabbed the steering wheel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was trying to get, I think she was trying to get the police's sadistic biscuit. The only moron I see here is you, and your butt is blocked. Blocking, Mo. Thank you, Mojangles. He was lying. Guys, I want you to know I did not go into this case believing one side or the other. I have a spreadsheet everywhere that they were at from the time that they left on July the 2nd until his skanky butt showed back up in Florida and everything that's happened in between. I'm documenting it all. And I'm just seeing on TV on Fox News right now. I'm going to read it to you. Gabby's family is from Gabby's family. Landry knows her last whereabouts. Gabby's family says that uh, Landry knows her last whereabouts. I hope that the officer's wife does see it too. I do. I hope the officer's wife sees it and sees what a scumbag of a husband she has. That cop puts all cops in a bad light. I'm friends with cops. Veronica, they don't have anything else to do. They're living in their parents' basement and they think they can come on and attack women who are just trying to bring awareness to a situation, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, Gabby's family saying Brian is aware of her last whereabouts and is refusing to help. Yeah, she may have had good reason to scratch him if he under the situation. If she was trying to get the police's attention, I mean it's disgusting. You don't know what you would do. You yeah, how do they sleep at night? How do they sleep at night and all this going on? I think she was defending herself. Stories don't add up. And they were different. And Gabby being put in the back of that police car and telling that police officer she has anxiety. I'm going to tell y'all a little something. I also have anxiety. If someone's bothering me like that, I get that upset. I have to take medication that I affectionately call my happy pill that I keep on hand at all times in case something bothers me like that and I get that upset. Gabby looks to me like someone that has just experienced a traumatic event and she doesn't know how to handle it. It was that cop was very unprofessional. Very. Uh yeah, I know they were saying that his parents' house looks empty, but Fox News anchor was reporting just a few minutes ago that before the sun came up in Florida, that she noticed a light came on at his house. He's at his parents' house. Who knows, Veronica? Really, who knows? But the Fox News anchor, she was like in the middle of her shot. She said, "Hold on, guys. I sense movement behind me." And she turned around and she said, "A light just came on in that house. Someone's home." So, how do these people sleep at night knowing that this 22-year-old woman that lived with them, that they supposedly loved, that they had thought at one point was going to be their daughter in law, is missing and they're just going on without a care in the world? I mean, seriously, grow some balls and tell the police where Gabby is. Yes, I mean, if you have something to do with it, you're probably going to be in trouble. If your parents are knowingly harboring you and protecting you from the truth coming out, they'll probably be in trouble. But Gabby's parents will have closure, and they deserve that. And Veronica, I think when she was saying she was afraid to drive, just my opinion, okay? My opinion. When Gabby says she was afraid to drive, it's because of her anxiety. When you are having an anxiety attack, you are afraid to get behind the wheel of a car, and actually, it is very dangerous for someone in the midst of an anxiety attack to be behind the wheel of a car because their judgment is clouded, their judgment is off. Bojangles, if that were one of my sons, I have a 21-year-old son and a 23-year-old son, almost 24. If that were one of my children, I would march their rear end down to the police department and tell them, you're going to turn them in. I mean, you're going to tell them what you did. Yeah, the whole world knows they're not going to get away with this. The police officer did it right the opposite. They should have put Gabby in a hotel room and sent Brian on his way. Actually, Brian should have went to jail if he was drinking and driving. I didn't get to watch the whole clip. I couldn't stand to watch the whole thing. Did they do a sobriety test on Brian? Did they do a? Does anyone know that watched the whole video? Did they do a Mm, I still would have done a sobriety test on him. I read somewhere that the news article says that he was pulled over for suspicious of DUI. Yeah, marijuana can also impair it too. Okay, Veronica, I was wondering about that. That's another fail on that police officer. If you pull someone over for suspicion of DUI and you don't do a DUI check, what kind of police are you? Mr. Chris, you say, what is the relevance of whatever ransom address he might come up with? Why didn't she call her parents? Well, let's evaluate that. Who's to say she had control of her cell phone? Because the parents are saying they received random address. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm random address. Okay. Who's to say that she had control of her cell phone? The parents say that there were texts sent from her phone and Snapchat that did not even resemble the way that she communicated. Chris, I'm not saying he took her phone. I'm saying, how do we know she had her phone? Veronica, see, they should have done a breathalyzer, and they should have done the walking the line, touching the nose, the whole 9 yards. She didn't feel safe to drive her own van. The cops gave him special treatment. Richard, come on now. Abducted by aliens? Are you serious? Are you serious? Dude, I'm going to tell you something before you get the block, okay? Brian Landry flew home to Texas on August the 17th, flew back to meet her on August the 23rd. There are two women that were found murdered August the 28th that he's also being investigated as having a connection to that murder. There was no aliens involved in this. Dude, if you're going to come into my chat, at least have some common sense. I'm sorry I'm sounding so ugly, but that just ticked my turtle. Mo, Richard, this is my chat. You can share your opinion as long as it makes some common sense. You're just in here trying to take heat off of Brian. And guess what? Hey, Mo, will you do me a favor? Block Richard. Chris, I agree. People vanish every day. But you have to realize, yes, he is innocent until proven guilty, Richard. I've said that from day one. He's innocent until proven guilty. Yes, I've said that from day one. Chris, there are people do vanish every day from national parks, but their significant other don't go home in their vehicle September the 1st, not tell her family that they don't know, that he doesn't know where she's at. Her mother doesn't realize and file a missing persons report until September the 11th. And he's lawyered up, even with the police begging his attorney to get him to at least cooperate with them and sit down for an interview. He won't do that. Her parents are asking. Addie, sweetheart, listen to me. If she committed suicide, do you think that her boyfriend would have went back to Florida, lawyered up, shut his mouth, and won't even sit down with an interview with the police? Do you think so? Exactly, Veronica. The fact that he is unwilling to the fact he's unwilling to even sit down for a police interview. Okay, Addie, we'll go that route for a moment, okay? We'll go that route for a moment. He has a lawyer. What you do when you have a lawyer and the police want to talk to you, you take your lawyer, you march your happy ASS into the police department, you sit down with the lawyer, and you do your interview. If the police ask something that could incriminate you, the lawyer says, I'm advising my client not to answer that question. Um, Mo, I apologize since you're the only one here that I keep asking you to, but Zero Zone needs to be shown the door. I will not tolerate anyone saying anything about her possibly committing suicide as their only comment. Zero Zone, nice to meet you, but there's the door. Yeah, block them, Addie. I mean, Mo. I don't want them in here. Block them. Chris, let's see. How do we know that she didn't leave or meet another person that she met with on that she met up? Okay, Chris, let's see. How do we know she didn't meet up with another person on the trip? Okay, Chris, I say to you again, why would Brian Landry fly home August the 17th through the 23rd, if that were the case, and then fly back to where she's at, then drive home in her vehicle, not give her vehicle to her parents, move her things out of his house into storage, and shut his mouth? Why not tell the police, hey, she met up with someone else? We're over. She started a new life. Addie, I think you're right. Hey, Christine. I know, Chris. I know what you're saying. The police need to do their job, but the police can't do their job because even with him with an attorney, he won't answer a single solitary question. Do you know that the police tweeted to his attorney to ask his attorney to ask him to at least come in and sit down for an interview and tell them just the basic information of what happened? These things never have a happy ending. Most likely. Does anyone here really believe she's alive? Unfortunately, I do not believe that Gabby is still alive. That's just my opinion. Don't come for me. I do not believe Gabby's still alive. I understand what you're saying, Chris. He probably wouldn't tell the truth. But you would at least make the appearance of yourself a little bit better if you took that lawyer that you immediately hired and went into the police department and sat down and did an interview. Yeah. But Chris, it's hard to do anything when the last place she was seen is 310,000 acres of land. And the person that she was last seen with has lawyered up and won't say a word. That's hard to do anything with. Yes, if he didn't go silent, I would have more hope. Yeah, he looks like he's using the same playbook as Chris Watts, except this guy was smart enough to hire an attorney. Chris Watts wasn't. Chris Watts wasn't smart enough to say, hey, I want an attorney. Chris Watts thought that he could pass the lie detector test. He thought that he could smooth talk his way through it. Mm-mm. And Jen Lou, that may be the exact truth. He may just give basic information, but at least the police could say he came into our office instead of having to go on Twitter and tweet to his attorney to ask, "Can you get your client to cooperate with us?" I mean, that's just a little ridiculous. I mean, like, it's basically like writing a note to the principal. Can you please get your so and so to do their homework? Can you please get make this happen? See, unsolved mysteries, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The longer he stays quiet, he thinks the uh the more likely he's going to get away with it. Yes, Joey, her dad is out there now looking for her. At least they okay, Chris. I left her at First in Maine. Go find her. What help is that? You ever heard of security cameras, Chris? You ever heard of a security camera? They could verify that with security cameras if they just had a point to start at. But when you're dealing with 310,000 acres of land, that's like a needle in a haystack. Oh, they'll make him talk eventually. I believe that with all my heart. The FBI are involved. They'll make him talk. They will make him talk. Exactly. It's more like a needle in a haystack of needles. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's all they're asking for. They just want to know where she was last seen so they can start searching the area for things like security cameras, anyone that may have saw her there, things like that. Wait a minute, Jen Lou. Law enforcement, not even the FBI can make anyone talk. Do we need to do a little mm, history on remembrance of Chris Watts? No, 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 Jen Lou. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait just a minute, guys. Hold up just a second. August the 24th was the last time that they were seen together leaving a hotel. August the 25th, Gabby FaceTimes her mother. August the 27th, a friend receives a Snapchat saying that she's headed to Yellowstone. No proof because there were no pictures, that she didn't show her face, anything like that. There's no proof who actually sent that Snapchat. August the 29th, Brian was spotted at a gas station in Jackson, Illinois, in Gabby's vehicle alone. August the 30th, the parents received text messages saying no service, Yellowstone. Basically meaning I don't have enough service to call home. They do not believe she sent that text. September the 1st, Brian arrives back in Florida. And then either September the 1st or shortly after, they move her belongings out of the house into storage. They may have the phone pings. The last time it can be confirmed of a sighting, he was with her. That's why the police want to talk to him. The last confirmed sighting of Gabby, he was with her. I know he has the right to remain silent. I know he does. But if you're the last person with someone who is now missing, to me, you have a moral obligation to tell what you know. Wait a minute, Addie. Wait a minute, Addie. Let me explain something to you. When I was reading that off, I was on I was on a different screen and I couldn't see chat. When I go to read my spreadsheet, I can't see chat. I'm scrolling up right now. Did you guys hear about the double homicide in the same area? Yes. Yes, Addie, we did. And they are investigating a link between that. Addie, they are investigating a link between that because one of the women had texted a family member to say that there was a strange guy in the campground that was scaring them. They were found murdered on August the 18th. They were last seen 5 days before, and they were all seen at the same bar not together, but they were all seen at the same bar. The two women, Brian and Gabby, they were all seen at the same bar. Addie, honey, I wasn't ignoring you. I have a spreadsheet that I've typed up, an Excel spreadsheet that tells where they were at and everything. So when there's a question, sometimes I go back and look at that. Chris, about the hotel footage, camera footage, the police most likely has that because they were able to say they were seen together. Of course, that won't be released until discovery, or if this is a worst case scenario, until discovery. They could make him testify, but I think in those trials for money, not criminal. Yes, you're exactly right. They can make him testify only if it's civil. Yes, it makes my skin get goosebumps too. Addie, there was so much evidence coming out and speculation and talks coming out. I made a spreadsheet on things that we could prove. And every day I add to my spreadsheet. So if someone asks me something and I have to go back to my spreadsheet, I can't see comments. So I'm sorry. I was not ignoring you. Guys, if y'all don't mind, please hit that like button. Thumbs up, thumbs down, either way it's interaction. But the more interaction, the more YouTube will push this video out. Christine, that's a very good possibility. I mean, could they have had an argument? He drove off, and when he went back, she was gone. They do have footage of him in Missouri case, right? Mojangles, can you text me about the Missouri case because I may have missed that, please? Unsolved Mysteries, he could very well be playing the silent game until he sees if they're going to offer him some kind of plea deal for where she's at. Addie, that's exactly what I'm thinking. He shoved her once. What's to say he didn't shove her off of a ledge in some of those areas that they were visiting? I want to go back to that part that what if he's staying silent until. Oh, no, it was Illinois. At what I saw, Mojangles, he was spotted in Illinois at a gas station, Jackson, Illinois, at a gas station, and they do have security footage of that. Yeah, I'm sure law enforcement is searching everywhere right now for security footage of that van because they already know Gabby was not seen with him then. Exactly, Joey. Why not call and make a police report if she walked off and he couldn't find her? Why not call? If you loved her and you were one time, considering marrying her, why not call and make a police report? Happy Kitty Shop, the way it's appearing right now, as my grandmother used to say, he could stay silent until the cows come home. Unfortunately. But I have a feeling that the police know, of course, a lot more information than we do, and he's going to be ready to talk soon. I wish they would do a ground and helicopter patrol over the area where they were last known to be. Addie, I'm sure that they are, but please remember that area is 310,000 acres. That national park is 310,000 acres. And I'm sure it has a lot of growth and trees and things like that. So, I mean, that's a lot of ground to cover. A lot of ground to cover. And guys, at times like this, it makes you wonder what if he did do something to Addie. She'd already called off the engagement and he still went on this trip with her. What sent him over the edge? I mean, what was the final straw? Yeah, a perfect place to get away with murder. Exactly. Exactly. My husband and I were talking last night and we were talking about this case. And I said, if, when we were engaged, if I had broken off the engagement, would you still went on a road trip with me that was going to last over a month? And he looked at me so funny and he said, absolutely not. He said, unless I was planning to do some kind of physical harm to you. Guys, my husband and y'all will think I'm crazy. I know you will, but I'm just going to tell you. We dated 6 weeks. We knew each other longer, but to actually date, we dated 6 weeks. 6 weeks. We got married, and in February, we will celebrate 26 years of marriage. Who murders someone and then takes the victim's car home? Exactly, Chris. Stranger things have happened. Chris Watts murdered his wife and drove her car to the police station for the for the interrogation and the lie detector test. Picked his daddy up at the airport in her car. Stranger things have happened. His sister just on Good Morning America, saying he hasn't spoke to her saying she hasn't spoke to her brother, and she wished she knew where Gabby was. First time any of his family has spoken. Hallelujah! I thought I saw that she was going to be on Good Morning America, and I missed it, but I will go back. Let me see if I can find it now. Guys, I cannot see chat right now. So I'm looking up Good Morning America to see if we can find out this. Let me go back, look at while that's pulling up. He threatened to leave her once, didn't he? What if they got into an argument and agreed to return home, and then at some point on the way back they got into another argument and he left her? That's a possibility, Addie. Why would he kill her, steal the van? Why not ditch the van? Chris, maybe he didn't have the money for another flight ticket home. Maybe he didn't have the money to purchase another ticket to fly home. Thank you, Unsolved Mysteries. It's been an eventful ride, I will say that, but he is truly my best friend, and I wouldn't want to do life without anyone else. He is. Hey, Teresa Green from Australia. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that so much. We welcome you to our little community. If you would consider subscribing, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. We welcome you. This is our community. We talk about things. Pretty soon, we're going to be able to do panels. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to express themselves as long as they are respectful and toss ideas around. And yeah, we're we're just a fun little community here. Addie, thank you so much for being here. The same thing goes for you. Oh, okay. Teresa, I welcome you being here. Thank you, Addie. I'm glad you are. I hope that you two will consider subscribing, um, and giving this video a thumbs up, because you know the more interaction, the more YouTube pushes videos out. Let's see. Good Morning America. I was going to look real quick. Thank you, Addie, for subscribing. I just got the notification. Okay, I can't find it yet, guys, on Good Morning America. They don't have it uploaded yet. I can't see chat again, guys, okay? Just so that you know, I cannot see chat. I'm going to find I'm going to find the my Facebook group page and pin it for you so that you can You can go there and check out. I'm going to be working on that page. I haven't been active on. I wasn't active on it yesterday like I needed to be. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate that. If you have the opportunity and can share this out, I would appreciate it. Maybe we could get more people to join us. Addie says he will speak soon. It is probably a lie. It will probably be a lie, but I know we can't give up on this until we find Gabby. You're exactly right. Remember Chris Watt's sermon on the porch? He had to speak up. Thank you, Beverly, for subscribing. Thank you, the cat. I do appreciate that. Um, Chris Watts thought that he could pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Okay, Beverly, I'll pull that up after we get through with this and watch it. He could be the type too if I can't have her. No, we will. Joey, that is exactly what I thought. He appeared to be the type. If I can't have her, no one will. And that disgusts me. Guys, I'm pinning this at the top. It's my Facebook group. I'm going to be sharing information in there. I'm going to update my spreadsheet today, but since with the new information. Oh, Beverly, thank you. And I love Natasha too. I really do. But I'm going to be updating my spreadsheet. And I don't mind you sharing my spreadsheet as long as you don't remove my watermark and give credit, to who actually created it because I know how YouTube works. Not that anyone in here would, but other groups would take it and say, oh, look what I created. Mm-mm. From the moment this young lady went missing, I started a spreadsheet because I wanted to piece it together. What do you guys think about the interaction with police? He had me fooled. He seemed very respectful. Addie, I think it was an act. I think it was an act. He wanted the police to think that Gabby was crazy, for lack of better words. It was an act. He was put up in a hotel. She was told to go on off in the van. He was told where she would be. She wasn't told where he would be. Does that sound fair to you? I can't understand why he returned home in her van. I can't. I do. I've been looking at that some, Veronica. I'm going to look at it more today. It's Guys, I just want to say this. I'm sorry I keep going back to Chris Watts, but one thing that we learned with the Chris Watts case is everything on social media is not as it appears. Shanann and Chris, now I'm not disrespecting Shanann Watts, okay? I won't allow anyone to disrespect Shanann Watts, okay? But they had this seemingly perfect life on social media. Behind the scenes was totally different. This case reminds me of that. They wanted everything to appear la di da di da, everything is good. We're enjoying traveling the world together. And there were some things going on behind the scenes that were not healthy. It was a very toxic relationship. Will I be sharing the Do I have access to the? Let me see if I can find that, and I'll be happy to. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, I'll be happy to share it. I can't see chat, guys. So if anybody say anything, I'm not ignoring you. Okay. Okay, this is sick. People are starting Instagram pages in Gabby's name. So give me just a moment. I've got to find it. Okay. Just a second. Along for the ride. Fan life. Let me see if this is it. It may have been, that link may have been taken down. I'm still here, guys. Give me just a moment, okay? Let me see if I saved it in my bookmarks the other day. Missing woman timeline. Hmm. Let me look one more thing, guys. I apologize. I can't see chat if anybody's saying anything. I'm not ignoring you, okay? Shoot, shoot, Newt. Hold on just a second. I'm here, guys. I promise I'm here. It was on his Instagram page and now it's gone. So I wonder if he took it down. His vlog address was on there. Oh my God, guys. I got to show y'all this, okay? I got to show y'all this. Y'all aren't going to believe this, okay? See this right here? This is his. This is his Instagram, okay? All of his posts have been deleted. He deleted all of his Instagram posts. This is his Instagram. This is it. He deleted all of his posts, or someone did. See? 2,354 followers. He's following 558 people. This is how I know it's his. This is Gabby's Instagram. Right here. She has 266,000 followers, 244 people that she's following. See all these little things here, talks about all their travels and everything. See all of her pictures? He had pictures like this on his page too. He deleted all of his pictures off of Instagram and the link to his vlog. Dude, what the actual hockey double hockey sticks are you doing? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make them just come and arrest you? I mean, seriously. How much more guiltier can you make yourself look? Seriously. Dude, you got issues. You got more issues than, oh my God, than anybody can even imagine. You deleted your Instagram post. Oh my God. You sick, demented. I'm going to stop before I say the wrong word. Guys, I can't believe this. I am in shock. I am in absolute shock. Hey, Lisa Lane. Thank you for being here. Guys, I promise you, the day that this was reported, I went and looked at his Instagram, and it was full of pictures. And they're gone. They're all gone. He had as many pictures on his page as she did. Oh my God. Yes, guys, only one more sub and I hit the 500 mark. Who's going to be lucky number 500? Guys, I'm so excited. Honestly, I'm having fun with YouTube. I'm having fun growing my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm enjoying talking about cases with you. Um, I have made the decision drama will be separated, and just so that you know, I have applied for a second channel that I will run simultaneously. I'm not leaving this channel at all, but I want my content backed up to another channel in case some of these mean people try to come and take my channel down, so that I won't lose my work. Okay, guys, I see a lot of people saying she attacked him, the cops wanted him arrested, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a little story, okay? This is a personal story. My aunt was in a domestic violence situation. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that you'll sub to them both. I really do. Speak Life. Thank you so much for subbing. When the other channel's up and going, I will give y'all the link to it. If you want to sub to it, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Lisa Lane. I appreciate that. But my aunt was married to a man who assaulted her. They were staying with my grandmother who was battling cancer because my grandmother couldn't be left alone. My grandmother laid in her hospital bed inside of her house and heard him banging her head into the washing machine and all this other stuff. Well, they had went home to their house for the weekend, and my husband and my mom and dad and I were taking turns taking care of my grandmother. They got into another altercation. He called the police and told the police that he had assaulted her, but he called the police and told the police that she was off her medication, that it was all her fault, blah, 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 blah. The police almost believed him. They almost took my aunt to jail, and he was beating the living crap out of her. So I'm just going to tell you, men and women who commit domestic violence have a way of convincing the police that they are the victim. So just keep that in mind, okay? Please keep that in mind. I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but they do have a way to convince the police that they are the victim. And especially if it's a male police officer that they're talking to, they say, oh, dude, she's off of her medication. She does this when she doesn't take her medication. Yes, it's very manipulative. It is. She's missed her medication. She'll be okay when she goes back on her medication. My aunt's also a diabetic. Her blood sugar drops. She acts crazy when her blood sugar drops. Or her blood sugar went too high. She acts crazy when her blood sugar goes too high. They're very, very good at convincing the police that they're the victim. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. And if I could say one thing about the police need more training in that area. They need more training, and to not be so blinded by a man telling them, hey, you know how she is. You know how she is. I'll say this, 26 years of marriage, 26 years of marriage. I posted his screenshot on my Twitter. Might have to scroll down. Hold your nose at anything you don't like. But the images and links to all I have found are in my feed. I haven't been able to sleep. Speak Life, do you mind telling me your Twitter feed? Your Twitter ID? I want to look at it. Addie, I think that was a staged text to buy some time for the fact that Gabby's mother hadn't heard from her. I think it was a staged text, and I think that Brian sent the text. That's just my opinion. And guys, Militikilla. I do have I do also have Twitter. I'm going to get more active on it. in its case discussion. I have Instagram case discussion. I just went in one day on Twitter, Instagram, everything I could think of, and opened an account with the case discussion ID so that no one would take it. But I have Instagram and Twitter and its case discussion. But I was saying, 26 years of marriage. We've had some disagreements. We've had some disagreements. You don't live with someone for 26 years and not have disagreements. My husband's never one time laid his hand on me. Not one time. Now, he was like swinging his arm around one day and didn't realize how close I was to him. He was swinging his arm around like to talk to me and didn't realize how close I was to him and kind of caught the tip of my nose. Oh, he was so apologetic. I mean, honestly, guys, he was about to cry because he actually made contact with my nose. I wasn't mad at him. I was laughing. Yay! 500. I'm so excited, guys. Yes, yes, yes. And this is for everyone who told me that I did not have what it took to make a channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so, so much. I had people tell me that I did not have what it took to make a channel, that I was too emotional, that I did not have what it took to investigate things, that I didn't have what it took to create content. Oh, Addie, I hope so. I hope I get 1,000,000 subs. Exactly, Veronica. If he wasn't happy with her, hit the road. Go back to Florida where your parents obviously coddled you and think that you do no wrong. Oh, thank you, Joey. Thank you, Lisa Lane. We've shown them. We've shown them. And we've got 500 to go. So, and at 1,000, I can get a community tab and just post like pictures and things like that there. If anybody has or knows anyone that has access to that has a community tab that would be willing to share my link, I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all, I'm so excited. I am so excited. Y'all don't even understand. Another channel told me that basically that I was scum and I was worthless, that I would never amount to, I would never, I wasn't worth anyone's time. And I'm not sad fishing or pity party. I'm just telling you what I've been told. Teresa, the only way you get a community tab is if you have a channel and you have 1,000 subs. So if anyone on here has a channel and you have 1,000 subs and you have a community tab, if you wouldn't mind sharing my link for my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Christine. No, Teresa, they weren't very nice, and I'll tell you who it was. It was Truth Tellers Bunch. Thank you, Unsolved Mysteries. I appreciate that. Yeah, some people laugh at me about my voice. I'm as southern as they come. Guys, I've lived in the same city all of my life. I am 46 years old. I have lived in the same city my entire life. When I was working as a nurse, I worked in the hospital I was born in. No, the only way that you get a community tab is if you have 1,000 subs. Yeah, Liar Teller's just a nasty, vile human being. And I don't mind to tell y'all, I have reported her over and over and over, and I will continue to report her each and every time that she makes fun of my disability. For those of you who are new to my channel, I do want to tell you, this is not a pity party. This is not sad fishing. This is just so you know, if I have trouble pronouncing words, I had a stroke. So sometimes it's hard for me to say words. It's hard for me to think of what the next word, the correct word to use. Make 500 accounts. Girl, if I only had the time to do that. If I only had the time to do that. But I'll tell you what I did. I made my husband, I made my husband and my two sons open an account and subscribe to me. I'm like, y'all are going to support me, which my husband does support me. Crafton had told me about this device that will help because when I try to use my plug-in microphone and do a panel, I couldn't hear anybody. I couldn't hear what people were saying. So Crafton told me about this device to order, and it was like $65. And my husband came home from work. I mean, he's the only one working in our household. It's our money, but I don't spend a lot of money like that without talking to him first. And I showed it to him. He said, "Would that help you in your YouTube endeavor?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Order it." And so Scarlett got a microphone that is really fancy, and I was showing it to him. And Crafton told me, "Yes, it is a good." And so I showed Crafton the microphone. Crafton said, "Yes, it's a good microphone." My husband ordered it for me as well. Teresa said, Did you also get brain shutdowns if you thought of more than one thing and lose emotions temporarily?" Yes, I did. Yes, I did. What's your opinion on vaccines? Did you get vaccinated? Yes, I did. Yes, I did get vaccinated. I talked to my doctor, I talked to my cardiologist, and I talked to my neurologist. They all recommended it. My cardiologist recommended it because I have a pacemaker. He said that if I caught the virus and it wrapped itself around my pacemaker, it could kill me pretty much instantly. So yes, my husband and I and my younger son, we are all vaccinated. I th- my opinion on vaccinations is a personal choice. I do not think the government has the right to tell you what this vaccine to put into your body. That's a decision that you need to make with you and your physician. But we did get vaccinated, um, not only for my health. My dad has prostate cancer. My dad also has a something growing on his kidney that we're not sure if it's cancerous or not. So I have to protect him. He lives next door to me. I see him daily. My father-in-law is a Vietnam vet. He was sprayed with Agent Orange, and he is slowly dying from the inside out. He's basically one step below hospice right now. So we have to protect him as well. So yes, we made the decision to get vaccinated for all the way around. Um, Guys, for the ones that are new here, I want to tell you just a little bit, if you don't mind, about what happened to me before my stroke. When I was 31 or 32 years old, I went to the doctor thinking I had gallstones, and they found a 2 centimeter mass on my right kidney. I had renal cell carcinoma. And kidney cancer is not usually found. Good morning, Sammy. Thank you for being here. Kidney cancer is not usually found unless you are like in your 60s and 70s, and it's not usually found unless you're in a car accident and they are scanning you to make sure if you have any internal injuries. The only treatment for kidney cancer is surgery unless it has spread to another body part. They were able to go in um, five, excuse me, 8 days before Christmas, remove a remove a portion of my kidney. I had 21 staples in my right flank area. Right flank area just means the right side of your body, like where your kidney is. And all of my scans have been fine since then. For the first year, we did them scans every 3 months. Then the next year, we went every 6 months. Now we do them yearly. And every other year, we alternate doing a CT scan and an MRI just to make sure. And I've been given warning signs to watch out for to come back if we suspect that, like blood in my urine, that type thing. Yes, exactly. It is the vaccination is a private medical choice between you and your doctor. Do not listen to anyone on YouTube, Facebook, social media giving you their uneducated medical advice. Okay? I am a nurse. I hold a nursing license. I would not give you medical advice. Okay? My cousin is a physician. She's a pediatrician. She's married to a plastic surgeon. I talked to her about it. She gave me some of the scientific parts of the virus, of the vaccine, excuse me. She wouldn't even advise me on her opinion on it. She told me to talk to my doctor. And I don't hold it against anyone that does not get the shot, because you may have a medical condition that the shot's not for you. Um my own experience with my own family experience with the shot, my husband and I took the Pfizer vaccine. Neither one of us had a reaction at all, okay? My son, my 21-year-old, took the Moderna vaccine. The first one he didn't have any reaction to. The second one, he took it on a Thursday. Friday morning at 1 a.m., he woke me up and said, "Mom, something's not right." And I got up and went in the living room with him. He was bending double in stomach pain, and I checked his fever, and his fever was 101. I gave him Tylenol, waited about 30 to 45 minutes, trying to let the Tylenol work. I rechecked his temperature, and it was 101.4 with Tylenol in his system. I gave him Motrin. He missed 2 days' work. He was bent double, screaming in pain. If he hadn't already had his appendix removed, I would have sworn he had appendicitis. I would have sworn it. Yeah, it was. And during this time, guys, I had bronchitis, could barely speak, and two ear infections. Yeah, Christine, you know what? It's just life. We all go through things. It's just life. But y'all, I want to tell y'all this. My son said the sweetest thing to me after he got to feeling better. He loves to hug on me. Every morning before he leaves for work, my 21-year-old son hugs me and gives me a kiss on the cheek bye and tells me that he loves me. He calls me at lunch to ask me how my day's going, to let me know how his day's going. I look forward to that phone call. But anyway, That Sunday, he works weekends and one day through the week. That Sunday, after he got off work and he was feeling better, he was laying on the couch watching TV, and he said, "Mom, I want to tell you something." I said, "What is it, sweetie?" He said, "Thank you for taking care of me." I said, "Son, that's what mothers are for. You don't have to thank me for taking care of you." He said, "No, Mom, you were sick too, but you got up and you got my medicine for me. You made sure I had Powerade to drink so that I wouldn't get dehydrated. Anything that I wanted to eat, you brought to me to the couch. I didn't even have to get up and go to the kitchen to get it. And you took care of me. And I want you to know that I realize that you were sick and that you didn't have to do that and you still did it." Guys, I was in tears, and I just told him he was welcome and to remember when he had children that that's what parents do. Parents who love their children take care of their children. My birth mother did not take care of me, and I swore when I had children, my children would never, even for 1 minute, make doubt that I didn't love them. I haven't always made the best decisions, but I believe with all my heart the two things that I got right in this, well, three things that I got right in this world were marrying my husband and having my children and raising them. And everything else has worked itself out. Um, and then, guys, also, I want to tell you a little bit, if y'all don't mind. Okay, after I recovered from the cancer, I had a stroke at the age of 35. Now, there is speculation from some of my doctors that having my kidney removed from cancer caused my blood pressure not to regulate properly and caused the stroke. It took me 10 years to rid myself of my walker, my cane, to be able to shower by myself, to be able to drive my car, and to do all of those things. So, yeah, so anybody that wants to make fun of me, have at it. But just know you're making fun of someone that is protected in a special class, and it won't be tolerated. Oh, Teresa, your dad raised you? My dad died when I was 5 years old, my real dad. He died when I was 5 years old. He was 32 years old. He died when I was 5. My mom moved a live in boyfriend, which was my dad's first cousin, in with us. He physically, mentally, and sexually assaulted me. He physically and mentally assaulted my brothers. My older brother and myself went to live with my aunt and uncle, who was my biological dad's sister and her husband, and they adopted us. When my birth mother got sick, she had colon cancer. They nicked her colon in two places trying to do a colonoscopy to get a sample to see if it was cancerous. Guess who she turned to take care of her? Me. I packed her wounds. She had an ileostomy and a colostomy. I changed those out. But guess what? I also used that opportunity to ask her why she did me like that when I was a child. I was with her when she died in the hospital. When she was taking chemotherapy, and all the chemo collected in her body, instead of it dispersing like it's supposed to, it just collected and it released it all at one time. She couldn't fight it off. She called me and she said, "I'm at the clinic. Will you come get me?" I know what clinic she was at. I said, "I'm on my way." I'm a Christian. I believe just because someone does you dirty don't mean you do them dirty, especially in their time of need. So I went and got her. Her blood pressure was 70 over 30. The nurse practitioner at the clinic said she needs to be at the hospital. She needs to be at the hospital now. There wasn't an ambulance service in this city. It was a very, very, very small city. Very small city. Yeah, she said sorry. She did apologize to me, and she asked the nurse practitioner. She told the nurse practitioner that I was her daughter. She said she's a nurse. She said, can she take me to the hospital? And the nurse practitioner asked me if I felt comfortable, and I said, yes, ma'am, I do. I said, I feel very comfortable. I said, I know when to pull over and call EMS for help. So I put her in my vehicle, got her comfortable, got her a Gatorade, and we headed out. We got to the hospital. She had a son with the man that abused us. He came. My little brother who lived with her, didn't come with to live with us with my aunt and uncle, my biological brother. They all came. Her brothers and sisters came. They all went home that night. Never told me they were leaving the hospital. They left me there with her. Not one person told me they were leaving the hospital. So when the doctor came around, and I knew the doctor, I worked at the hospital. I knew the nurses. So when the doctor came around, he called me outside. Yeah, I keep refreshing it too. I keep refreshing it too, and I don't see anything yet. But the doctor, her cancer doctor, called me outside, and he said, "Do you realize how sick she is?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." I said, "I know how sick she is." He said, "She's terminal." He said, "She's not going to survive this." He said, "Do you know her wishes as far as DNR and that type of thing?" I said, "No, sir, I don't, but I will find out." I said, I'll ask her." And he said, "If she wants to be a DNR, let the nurses know and they will contact me and I'll put the order in and we will have hospice come see her." So I did that. I went in her room and I asked her if she knew what was happening, and she nodded her head yes. And I said, "Dr. Smith," which was her cancer doctor, I said, "Dr. Smith says things don't look so well, and that most likely you're going to be taking a trip soon." I said, "If something happens to you, do you want CPR done? Do you want us to try to save your life?" And she nodded her head no. And she pointed to heaven again. And she mumbled, "I'm ready." I called my brother that was also adopted. He lives in East Tennessee, and got him on the phone. And I said, "We need to talk to her together." And I told him what was going on. And I said, "Tell him," I repeated it. I said, "Do you want CPR?" And she said no. She could barely say words, but she could say, small words like that. She said no. And my brother said, "I'm satisfied with the answers. Let the nurse know." So I called the nurse in the room and I told the nurse, I said, "She doesn't want CPR. We want hospice." And the nurse verified it, put her on hospice. I sat up in a straight back chair all night that night with her, talking to her, telling her about the wonderful trip that she was about to take. She told me, I asked her, she was a Christian. She said yes. Um, and this was verified. She had also told one of our mutual friends about the day she gave her heart to God. So I, when everybody kind of came back in the next morning, I told them, I said, "Look, I need to go home and get a little sleep. If I get worn down, I will have an attack. I need to go home and get a few hours sleep. If anything changes, call me." I had been home about 3 hours and they called me and said, "If you want to see her alive, the nurses say you need to get back here." So my husband and I jumped in our vehicle and made a beeliner for the hospital. And I got there in time to tell her goodbye And some people may think this is crazy, but this is what I said to her. And I said this to her also while I was taking care of her. I said, all anyone wants for their children is to give them the best life possible. In the situation that you were in at the time, you were unable to give me the best life possible. So you did the next best thing. You gave me to people who could give me the best life possible. And I thank you for that. And I had also asked her funeral for her funeral and things like that. Did she want me there? And she nodded yes. I attended her funeral. I attended her burial. Yeah, we're a strong group of people. I tell you guys, we are. We're strong. And that's what I want this community to be about. If something's bothering you or if there are things going on that y'all want to talk about, we'll talk about them. I mean, life is not easy. Life is not easy at all. We've all been through things. We have all been through things. I know what I just said is going to be used against me by Truth Teller. I don't care. If she uses what I just said against me, she and I will have words. I promise you that. Promise you that. Um, but but I did ask my birth mother why she didn't leave him and take care of her children. When she was sick, when I was taking care of her, and she said because she didn't want my brother to grow up without his dad or in the house all the time. And I said to her, our dad left us without any choice of his own. Are you saying he was better than we are? Are you saying the other son is better than we are? That he couldn't grow up without his dad at the home? I said, his dad is treating us like crap. Oh, Christine, you're so sweet. Thank you, Sammy. Yes, we are strong. We are strong. I told you guys that the guy that she moved in and sexually abused me, my real mother didn't believe me that he was abusing me. I told her, she didn't believe me. Oh, this one may make me cry. So if I cry, please forgive me. Um, my niece that belonged to the brother that stayed with my mother came to me when she was 15 years old, crawled up in my lap and said, I need to tell you something. I said, what is it? Oh yeah, it lifted my burden for forgiving her because I didn't forgive her for her. I forgave her for myself. I forgave her for myself because I was holding hatred inside of me. But anyway, my niece crawled up in my lap and said, "You know what happened to you when you lived with Granny?" And I said, I knew what she was talking about. And I said, "Yes." She said, "He's doing it to me too." I'm a mandated reporter, guys. Mandated reporter. If you are a police officer, if you are a church staff member, if you work with the youth in the church, if you are a medical professional, you are a mandated reporter. So I had to go. I went and told my brother what happened. He didn't want to report it. He said, we'll just keep them separated. I said, no, I'm a mandated reporter. If I don't report this, I will go to jail if it's found out. So I went to the sheriff's department and reported it. My niece's sister found out about it. When she found out about it and knew that I had reported it, we discovered it happened in two counties. She went to another county, went to the other county and reported it. Okay, Joey. All right. She went to the other county and reported it. They were preparing him. They arrested him. They were preparing him for trial. They offered him a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to all charges. He held a gun on my niece. My niece told them where the gun was at. They found the gun. It had his fingerprints on it. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison to serve 100% in one county, 8 years in prison to serve, I think it was 40% in another county. So, all in essence, he was sentenced to 24 years in prison. He died in prison. You know that sucker had the nerve to write me a letter from prison saying it was my fault he was in prison? I wrote him back. I told him I had no regrets in reporting him. I would do it all over again. My only regret at that time was that he was still taking breaths. I said the quicker that you take your last breath, the happier we all will be. Lisa Lane, I know. He had some nerve. Sammy, I'm going to tell you, my husband was fired up when I got that letter. My husband was fired up. My husband actually called someone that he knows at the sheriff's department and asked if we had grounds to get a restraining order so that he couldn't contact me again. And we were advised that if I received another letter to contact the warden of the prison and that he would be placed in the hole and he would not be allowed to write me ever again. He never wrote me again. If he had, his ass would have went to the hole in the prison and he would have been punished. Oh, my husband's my rock. My husband is my absolute rock. I found a doctor in Texas that treats migraines. And the specific type of migraines that I was suffering as a result of my stroke. We live 800 miles from Texas. My husband took me for the procedure not once but twice. He took off work, took me to Texas, and we had friends saying, "There's no way that this will work. There's no way that this is going to work." My husband said, "If there's an ounce of a chance that it will work, I'm taking her." The first time we went, they did the procedure, and then COVID hit, and I couldn't go back for checkups, and it scarred down, scar tissue formed. So I had to go back and let them repeat it, and they left stents in, or splints in rather, and held everything open until it healed. So actually, we went to Texas 3 times. The third time was only for them to remove the splints. But my husband is very supportive. I'm a very lucky woman. So, guys, I'm telling you all this to say, what Can y'all hear me? My power blinked. Okay, good deal, guys. Yay, 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 yay. Yay. I just wanted to tell y'all that the power blinked and not for a split second, but it was just enough to disconnect my internet. And it took me a little bit to get it back. Thank you for waiting. But yes, I did want to tell y'all I do have a very supportive husband. I'm very proud of my husband. He works very hard for our family, very hard. But I am going to get off of here, guys. If anybody sees any updates about Gabby, email me at mycasediscussion.com and let me know, or and we will go live again and talk about it again. I'm going to keep watching the news today as much as possible to get updates, and I'm going to mess around with my new equipment to try to have panels where we can go live and have panels and talk about theories, where people can come on panel and talk about their theories and what they think happened and everything, because this isn't just my channel, it's our channel, it's everybody's channel that comes here and is respectful. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.